Using our 19mm socket, let's go ahead and remove our lug nuts. Let's grab our wheel, remove it, and set it aside. Loosen the adjuster nut screws using a 15mm socket. Using a pair of pliers, we just want to go ahead and loosen our adjuster sleeve, see if we can spin this back and forth. Our adjuster sleeve is rusted to our tie rods here. We're going to apply some heat to this here. Once we have these good and warmed up, we're going to go ahead and try and loosen them up. So we're putting our pliers on the open split of our adjuster sleeve and on the top. And we just want to get this to spin a little bit. Just breaking the rust free. And we want to get this so that we can unthread our outer tie rod from the adjuster sleeve here. And it is broken free. Now on our outer tie rod, we want to go ahead and remove this nut. We have our cotter pin in here, and this is pretty rusted. I'm going to use a pick and just tested the cotter pin here, and ours broke off. Our next step is to cut off and remove any excess. I'm going to go ahead and use our 21mm socket on our castle nut here. We're going to go ahead and strike the edge of our knuckle here. This should pop out our outer tie rod end here. Eye protection is a must when doing something like this here, and if you prefer, ear protection as well. So pop that out. Now what we want to do is go ahead and loosen and remove our outer tie rod. Put some pliers on here and try and spin that out. And get it loose, so we're going to go ahead and work it back the other way. And we're just going to continue this process till we can unthread this unit from the adjuster sleeve. I want to go ahead and unthread our outer tie rod. We did apply a little bit of heat to this here. Now, if your outer tie rod unthreads with the adjuster sleeve, that's not an issue. You just want to go ahead and put it on your bench later on and separate the two components. You also want to count the amount of revolutions it takes for the outer tie rod to come out. That way, when you install the new one, you can count the same amount of threads and get a preliminary alignment setting. Now, our particular outer tie rod took 28 turns to remove it. We're just going to use a crayon and we're going to mark this on the inside of our frame right here, 28. That way there's no guessing when we go to install our new part. It's going to install our outer tie rod end. We did put some anti-seize compound on the threads. Now, once the threads catch, you want to go ahead and thread this on as many turns as it took to remove the old one, thread on the new one. I'll go ahead and remove our castle nut. You want to pay attention to the position of the hole going through the stud here. Let's go ahead and remove our strap here that's holding this. Going to install this into the knuckle. Go ahead and get that nut started. and spin it down as far as you can by hand. Just going to tighten down our outer tie rod nut here. Now we're going to go ahead and torque that down to 51 foot-pounds. And at this point here, you want to try and locate the hole in the ball joint stud for the cotter pin to come through. Now we can go ahead and install our cotter pin. Now for any reason, if the notch in the castle nut does not line up with the hole in the stud, you never want to loosen this to get it to line up. You want to tighten up the nut just enough where the next notch comes through, and then you can go ahead and install your cotter pin. I'm going to go ahead and bend this up and over. And we're just going to cut off the excess. Let's go ahead and install our wheel. Get our lug nuts installed. I'm going to go ahead and get all these started by hand, and then we're going to go ahead and zip them on down. Go ahead and torque our lug nuts down to 100 foot-pounds.